All right, everybody with me. Settings are good. Here we go. Ready? All right, how we doing, guys? This is Brandon. You've come to. Hang on, redo.
Hey.
Skip the first line already. All right, welcome to the Marvel Madness Comics podcast. This is episode number 10. I am Brandon, as always, joined by fellow co-host Carl. Carl, how we doing?
Good, man.
And then we got Trevitt. Trevitt, how we doing, man?
Pretty good.
All right, so everybody is fresh off seeing Spider-Man Homecoming this weekend. So instead of one of our normal end segments, we're going to share some thoughts about Spider-Man Homecoming at the very, very end. So if you haven't seen it, and after we're done with all books, if you don't want to be spoiled or anything, you can skip the very end of the podcast. But that's just a fair warning before we get started here, so you know what we're in for. But we're going to run through our mission statement here, go over what we're all about and what we do, tell you what books we're covering and how we're going to rate them today. And then we're going to get into all the good stuff and talk about that and whether you should buy them, borrow them, or forget them altogether. But anyway, back to the task at hand, which is our mission statement. And we're again here to highlight 4 books for you this week. Got an extra long episode for episode number 10. We hit the first milestone officially. It took us, about 3 months, 2 months, 2.5, I would say.
Yeah.
But we're there 10 weeks straight, bringing you Marvel Comics, Marvel Comics news, bits and glimpses into the universe. Try to keep you up to date on what's going on. We mix in some fun facts, some character bios, and then things of that nature, all concerning Earth Prime, so the main Marvel universe. We keep you up to date on all that. And that is, as far as I know, what it's called right now. Nobody's written in and called us out or cussed us out about it. So as long as nobody else has anything to say about it, that's what we're going to call it for now. We again try to mix up the titles we cover and give you a variety each month. We try to make it, avoid any repetition with covering the same thing month in and month out, but also try to highlight the main storylines and the bigger books each week for you guys. Things are divided into the following categories, so we split them up just to make it a little easier on ourselves, lighten the workload, so to speak. I cover the Spider family, and I'm going to bring you guys Spider-Man Master Plan number 1 this week. Carl, you cover what family is that and what book you bringing us?
I cover the Heroes family, which is everything other than Inhumans, X-Men, or Spider-Man, and I'm bringing you Avengers number 9 this week.
And then, Trevitt, you do what exactly there?
I do all the Inhumans and X-Men books.
And what are you bringing to us this week? What are you bringing to the table?
All new Wolverine number.
All new Wolverine. Yeah, I know. Now that some of these Marvel books are hitting higher numbers, I got to think for a second.
Yeah.
What fucking number we're on here? Like Spider-Man's going to be at 30 next week, I think. I'm like, oh, that's nice to see at least.
That's really nice.
I agree. And then we're going to bring you an event book this week, I guess, so to speak, kind of a mini series type thing. And that's going to be some brief thoughts and glimpses into Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. And if you want a full review on that, you guys can check me and Trevitt out on the Marvel Minute on the Weird Science DC Comics podcast. And we did a full review of that book. But we'll just give you a quick rundown of it and whether you should buy, borrow, or forget it altogether here on today's podcast. And that is, of course, how we rate things. Buy it means go to the store and buy that sucker now. Get it in hard copy. Unless you're a sole digital collector, then, get on Comixology, do your thing. Or we tell you to borrow it, which means get the code from a friend who did buy it, or borrow that book from a buddy, have them send it to you online, something along those lines. Or we tell you forget it altogether, which is don't drop a dime on the book, don't get a digital code from a friend, avoid it at all costs, don't waste your money. So with all that covered, If you are looking to get a hold of us, there are several ways to do that. Carl, did we get any emails this week? Anyone pop our cherry yet?
I haven't received any emails this week.
No emails except for Twitter followers, probably. But if you are looking to get a hold of us, you can get a hold of us at marvelmadnesspod@gmail.com. You guys can, provide suggestions about what maybe books we should cover for that week. You could yell at us about opinions, share, what your pull list is. I don't know, whatever's on your mind, get at us there. Other way you can get a hold of us is on Twitter. We're there all week long. Kind of take turns retweeting things and tweeting things out on that account. And that's at Madness Marvel 1. DMs are open for business. We like to retweet your new comic book day pulls. We throw some digital codes around on that Twitter page. So first come, first serve as far as that goes. And then the last and final thing I wanted to mention was how to find the podcast in case you're listening to this on a buddy's, car on the way somewhere, and you want to find out how to listen to us. That's always Podbean or iTunes. A litany of other podcast catchers out there like Player FM or Pocket Casts. I don't know. You can name one. We're probably there. But please rate and review us. Spread the word. If you do get that rating out there, DM us. Let us know you did that for us, and we'll get you a few digital codes for your trouble. But now all that basic bitch stuff is covered and out of the way. We're free to get on with the show here. We're going to move on to Trevitt's nude section. Nude, not, I'm sorry, news, not nude. I got a spitty mouth I got to swallow here, so it came out nude. But no, Trevitt's not nude unless he is. I don't know. I can't see him. But we're getting to Trevitt's news here, and we're going to place our song in. All right, Trevor, why don't you take the news, not the nude, away from us here?
Not the nude. I am not nude, by the way. So it was a little bit of a slow news week again, leading up these weeks to Comic-Con. But something did happen. This week, Stanley's wife of 69 years died on Thursday. She suffered a stroke earlier in the week and was hospitalized. She was 95 years old. That is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's a good life.
It's a great life. Oh my God, Stan Lee's not too far behind her.
Yeah,
you
know.
get to your 90s, like sharp as a tack. Good for you. Good for you. You lived.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you sure
More
did.
than most of us. Off of the sad, depressing crap, we got some solicitations this week from Marvel Legacy to show us some of the creative teams, and I got to tell you, there's not too much going on here. It looks a little bit like more of the same. I mean, there's some kind of big stuff, but
probably more art changes, isn't it?
Yeah, more art changes, a couple of crossovers, and like that's really it. No big changes, no changing the industry as they claimed. Not that I want to rag. I was just hoping for something a little more.
What were the crossovers? Did you pick up on the crossovers?
Yeah,
I know there's an X-Men one, but isn't there another one?
The X-Men one's towards the end, but the first I got up here is we got a art change on Avengers. Also, this follows a crossover news. So Mike Del Mundo is, from the solicitations, not going to be on Avengers anymore. It's going to be Jesus Says, who did Green Lantern Lost, I think it was the Lost Army, and he also did this past Captain America run. I mean, he hasn't done an issue within like the past 3 or 4 issues, but he did the beginning. Him and Javier Pina used to trade off 1 month after the other, or one would do 2 issues and then one would do 1. But he's going to be on Avengers, so that's pretty exciting. And then we're going to have a crossover with the Champions. So
yeah, that's what I saw. That was
So crossover between the Marvels, Avengers, and Champions should be, kind of fun, I guess. It's the same creative team on the Champions. It's still going to be Humberto Ramos and Mark Waid, and it's going to be Mark Waid and Jesus Says on Avengers. So see what happens there. Something else I found interesting was for Iron Man. It says continued out of the pages of Marvel Legacy #1, which means it looks like the one-shot is going to be setting up a story that's going to have effects on the stories going forth after it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of cool.
Probably more like, providing hints that it's like a rebirth type story that'll seed a few future stories coming out of it,
which is what I was hoping for. I was hoping it was going to do something like that. So we're not only going to get to see the first Avengers 1 million BC, we'll get to see stories from all our favorite characters and set up storylines for them for the future, which will be cool. The Falcon creative team was announced, and it will be written by Rodney Barnes, who not familiar with the writer, and the art is by Joshua Cassara, who recently did the Secret Empire Uprising, which was okay. I'm curious to see what he's going to do on that title. There's also some additional info about the book. It's that Sam Wilson's going to be training a new sidekick, and it's the new Patriot from Secret Empire Brave New World, the first issue. I think it was the first? No, it was the second issue. Second issue.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Marvel doesn't really, that's usually a DC thing, having like a young sidekick and training them up. So, that's going to be a little different, I guess. Different for Marvel, but not different for comic books. Greg Land is leaving Weapon X and is heading over to the Incredible Hulk. This is kind of cool. I'm curious over who's going to be taking over Weapon X. And when this, WMD crossover is done, I'm also curious to see if Weapon X can find its own identity and stand on its own 2 feet. Because since the beginning of the title, it's just been all focused on this crossover story. It was all set up from the beginning, so I'm curious to see what it can do on its own. And the last but not least, we have a big X-Men crossover called Mojo Worldwide with an awesome connecting cover from Arthur Adams. It'll kick off in X-Men Blue with parts 1 and 3, and it'll end in X-Men Gold with parts 2 and 4. Jorge Molina will be returning to duties on Blue, and Mike Mayhew will be taking over art on X-Men Gold, which is pretty incredible because even though the story hasn't been really that great for X-Men Gold, Mike Mayhew's art is like Alex Ross art, or if it's not, even if he like pencils like normal, it's still incredible. So I hope Mark Guggenheim could give him something good to draw in pencil,
Yeah.
But we'll see. And that's it really for the news. There wasn't much else.
I didn't see a whole lot either. I was checking like previews and everything else, and it's kind of all being either held under wraps for con season or I don't know. They're just waiting for Legacy to start coming out or those solicits to fully drop. Yeah. To reveal what's really going on here.
And when you look up Marvel news on Google and you see in the top 5 that Jim Galton died, that there's really no news because that first happened like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And,
I know.
Yeah, and that's still popping up in the top 5.
Yeah, I saw that too. So, yeah, that's where we're at with news. We're going to take a quick break here and pop back with the books for you guys. Trev, is your connection good? Because you were stuttering there a little bit.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Are you downloading anything crazy or anything over there?
No, I'm not downloading nothing.
All right. Maybe let me go shut this TV off upstairs because maybe it's mine, and then we'll be good to go here. I'm actually gonna put a break here because we've been going just a little longer on the 2-book section lately.
Yeah.
So I want to put a break here so we don't hit like an hour and a half. And then I'm going to send out. What's that?
I have no clue.
Was it this?
I'm going to send out an.
Yeah.
That was my hand on the microphone. Sorry.
I'm going to send out a new invite here. So give me 1 minute. You're going to get a new invite.
Cool beans.
All right.